Reading chapter 2 of the first part of Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations. Chapter 1 is actually quite interesting and important. It's about the division of labor, and it's really about the division of labor within a factory. And he gives this famous example of the pin factory and how you have this very humble product, a very simple product, a pin. And but in a pin factory, the process of making a pin is divided up into so many little steps, which are done by one person over and over again, that it's actually a very complex thing. But his point is, the overall point is that by having a division of labor, where each person, instead of making an entire pin, does a little operation necessary for the making of the pin, and then it's handed on to someone else, I guess, that this increases productivity tremendously. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know if anyone knows what the numbers are, but more pins get made cheaper, and that means with less labor. So the division of labor is a huge part of his message, and how the secret, perhaps, of modern economies, why they are bigger and more productive and richer than pre-modern economies, is in the division of labor. So he's quite interested in this subject, and he's just told us what what he thinks about human beings being trading creatures. This disposition we have to trade, to truck, barter, exchange with others in order to fulfill our needs. And here he is talking about closely related subject. You have to have something to barter, right? I mean, that is, if you're going to meet your needs, you need to be able to trade. And if you're going to trade, you're going to need something to trade. How do we end up with anything to trade? He says, as it is by treaty, by barter, and by purchase that we obtain from one another the greater part of those mutual good offices which we stand in need of, so it is this same trucking disposition, I like that, trucking disposition, which originally gives occasion to the division of labor. In a tribe of hunters or shepherds, a particular person makes bows and arrows, for example, with more readiness and dexterity than any other. He frequently exchanges them for cattle or for venison with his companions, and he finds at last that he can, in this manner, get more cattle and venison than if he himself went to the field to catch them. From regard to his own interest, therefore, the making of bows and arrows grows to be his chief business, and he becomes a sort of armorer. Interesting. It's got sort of everything there that Smith is interested in. First of all, it is with regard to his own interest. Like, why do we specialize here? The pin factory example was division of labor in a factory. What he is explaining here, or giving a theory of, really, is the division of labor amongst people. I guess the supposition is that originally we did everything for ourselves. That is, we hunted and fished and built and made clothes. But then gradually we realized that if we specialized, like this hypothetical person is specializing in the making of bows and arrows, and then traded the surplus, right? You make bows and arrows for yourself, but you make more than you need for yourself, so you can trade them for what other things you do need. That seems to be the thing here. So he's trying to explain, and it's a hypothetical explanation, but he is explaining the origins of economic society, the origins of the idea that instead of being creatures that are constantly trying to meet their needs in the sense of going out and finding food or building a house or making clothes, but instead we specialize in labor. We make one thing, not because we need all of the things that we make, but because we can trade them. And this is, for him, an incredibly important part of, I suppose, the development of human society.